Yo, what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and in today's video, we are going to be giving you a kind of quickish update on the project, or our new start, restart jumper project that we are doing and has been ongoing for a while. Now, most of you know, at this time, we have and are planning to create what I would like to believe is one of the largest, if not the largest, really kind of healthy mix of jumps where we have really just anyone and everyone, whether that's free to play, low spend, mid spend, high spend, but not necessarily having it focus on one side or the other, right? Kind of having it be a nice little basket of Robbins, come get your 32 flavors all around buffet, as I very much enjoy the idea of having kind of this all-inclusive community that we're able to build up really kind of from nothing and turn it into something awesome that is also different than what I would argue the majority or many other projects typically try to operate as, not only from the beginning, give or take, but also with kind of what they turn into, right? A lot of projects I typically see from my experience doing them across 3 games now, back in Rise of Kingdoms, Infinity Kingdom, and then the one we've done so far on Call of Dragons, is that once projects typically start, regardless of what their ideals are, their beliefs, their thoughts, their standards, their expectations, their goals, is that once you end up landing in your first kingdom / final, well, I should say specifically, but we'll just say your home kingdom or your landing kingdom, is that over time, you will often see that situations, for whatever may arise, typically they will end up kind of going into this, what we talked about before, in a previous video, where we end up seeing these kind of mega alliances, that type of standard hierarchy that usually plays out, where you'll just end up having kind of 1 or 2 big kingdoms. It's very difficult and it's challenging. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of resolve if you are trying to stay as a pure and kind of true balanced kingdom. And this is something that I've seen from some projects that will talk about, hey, we want to be balanced, but it just unfortunately kind of doesn't end up turning out that way. And then for some that will take an approach of, hey, we're not even going to talk about anything balanced, right? Then they will kind of go about their ways. And obviously it all comes down to kind of you wanting to find the best project for you and what really meets your goals and ideas. So with that in mind, a little bit of a longer intro today. But as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw some, because it helps out a lot. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at where are we right now, and if you are interested in joining, how can you go about that? Well, first and foremost, you can join the Discord, link to that in the pinned comment description down below. And as we go over here, once you join, you'll just go to reaction roles, which again, you'll probably see these at the top. You'll then go to the CoD NASTi project. We have this for 2024 as we updated, and I think it's going to be the 5th one from the left or 3rd from the right. Again, also, if you want to get notified from when we have YouTube or live stream content, you can do that to get a reaction roll. And again, I do reset these every so often once we do updates. However, once you select the CoD NASTi project, you should see a CoD project popping out. If it doesn't, you'll just click this. It pops out. And we'll kind of go through these line by line. So we have a start here, which again is basically a nice directory or an index, if you will, on what you can expect to get out of each of the channels. We have a timeline. It kind of goes top down too as well. So it's in order. Based on how this looks. We have a COD-P timeline. This is kind of talks about where are we currently. I thought of doing this, actually just this project, shockingly, where I wanted just to kind of give a quick overview, a TLDR snapshot on, where is the project and what stage are we at, right? So this is kind of where I list off all the stages and then talk about where we are. And then what you could see here, right, it's, we have find, 6R5s and talking about we are here right in the middle, and then we have we've selected 3 out of 6, so we're halfway there at the time. We've actually been at 3 for a little while so far, and at one point we were at 1 for a while. Ended up getting a 2nd and a 3rd actually a little quicker than the amount of time it took to get 1, but now we're kind of at 3 out of 6. And again, we'll show you where you can apply. Keep in mind, we are only recruiting leaders at the moment, even though we have a decent amount of people already in the project, and we'll talk about that once we get to the COD-P announce. And then we have, kind of, we want to be able to find 2R4s per each alliance. right? So it'd be a minimum of 12. And then we'll start openly recruiting players. That would be phase 3, right? So we're kind of going top down this time compared to other products I've done where we've just really opened the floodgates right away. And we've said, hey, we're just full out recruiting. This is, kind of going to be a hard window of when we're going to start. And, just kind of hoping, and we've always, I would say, been lucky in a sense to kind of find, R5s along the way up until that point. We're doing it, we're just kind of changing the pace up a little bit right now. I feel from the amount of projects I've ran so far that what's really important is building out a solid foundation and then looking at ways to improve upon rebuilding foundations, right, from doing new projects. And this is one of the things that I am at least excited to try out, where instead of kind of going opening the floodgates, then kind of recruiting at any stage, this time we're really specifically focusing on going top down. So making sure that we have the leads in place and then the officers, and then we'll open the floodgates, because at that time, then we can say, okay, hey, we're going to start on this day and time, or, just in a very small window, if you will. And then we have, set a date for when we're going to create accounts. Assign and distribute players randomly to their respective alliances. Before we start, assign players starting Zone 1 locations. Everyone creates an account on day 1 of the kingdom and joins their respective alliance. And again, now the jumping's here, I'll probably have to update a small part of that. But then we go to the announcement. Last announcement we had was July 2nd, so I'll probably be putting out another announce shortly. I'll probably coincide that once this video releases. I had just checked. And again, this kind of goes into our leaders update, right? So, this kind of talks about how this is a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? So again, people should go and join other projects if they would like to, especially if they want to start earlier. Again, we talk about recruiting only leaders for now. We'll go to the CoD P positions channel in a moment. Right, we're currently at 471. However, after checking, we're now at 490. So we've seen kind of a plus 19 increase there. Though we also understand that not everyone is going to be joining, even if you have reacted. Maybe you just want to follow along on the storyline. Maybe you just want to come take a look. Maybe you're from another project and you're just kind of looking at how we have things set up. It could be really any number of things. Help with recruiting, we talk about that. What should you do for now? Really, it's just reading up on the information we have and making sure that this is a good fit for you. Taking a look at the CoD P resources channel so you can take a look at in-game content and brushing yourself up on as much of that as possible. And we'll probably be doing another update on that, especially once we get a little bit more going. And then we get to the CoD P chat. Oh, we already have that. So we have a sign-off channel, and this is basically just kind of previewing what we already have. And this will be where you can sign off, and we kind of have, what your active time window is. However, I might be doing something different I've actually been thinking about this for a while now. This is kind of what we've been using by default, and I actually think it has worked okay, but we might be trying something out in the future. And this will basically go active once we do start, once we basically have a date and our leads and officers picked out. So here is our CoD P positions, right? We have a little brief preview on kind of what some of the expectations are for being a lead. And then we have a video you can watch, which is a guide video on being a leader in CoD. And then we have the application. We have a video here on being an officer. Applications obviously have an open jet. Why? Because we want to recruit our 6 leads before we end up opening officers up. Then we go to CoD P goals. Now, this is a little bit more of a kind of kingdom outline or kingdom foundation, if you will, on what are our expectations and what are we planning to do. Now, I'll probably add a little bit more here. I've been updating this pretty much every month with a little bit here and there and just kind of going over some information. And so you can, again, take a look there, and there's obviously some nice stuff, at least, that gives you a nice view or indication on how our project wants to operate once we do land and final. Then you get to CoD P plans, right? We have our, I actually just updated this. You could see, I was going to say 2024. This has been updated recently with a little bit more information. So you have kind of, what our plan is upon landing in Final Kingdom. And I'll be adding a little bit more to that as well. We have some CoD P resources here, and everything for me, I just feel like can be in one area. Some of these will, of course, have to be updated, but instead of having a million channels, my view is, man, just do it in one. You don't need to have, a bunch of different channels for things like behemoths and heroes and artifacts, etc., right? Just, again, know how to condense and consolidate, so that way it's a little bit easier for people, right, when they're going through and reading those. Then we get to CoD P recruit. And the short version here is that, right, we have our ad. We have a Google Doc that you can open up, copy paste, making it easy, or you can copy paste from here. Right, you can invite players using the link. There's some, again, this has been, I actually have to update this now, but right, there's some Discords you can join if you want to post recruitment ads. And then I have my resume that I've posted here, and I usually update this kind of throughout the time. Kind of has like a general overview, what I've done so far in games like Rock, IK, CoD. And one of the things is I have no problem sharing all of the projects that I've ran and I've been a part of. And then obviously I provide as much YouTube video references, if you will, to those projects. I think it's really important to be upfront and to let people know, hey, these are all the projects I've done, regardless if they've panned out the way that I hoped or that I planned or would have loved for them to. Because hopefully, even if they didn't, you're at least taking something away to make improvements and to always try and do better than you did before. And then we have a town hall channel, and that's basically just for us posting like town hall VODs, doing any questions, pinging people for when we end up opening the town hall, and then we have our VC. So that pretty much kind of sums us up where we're at right now. And again, as I said, we are mainly just recruiting for leaders. And so if you're interested, like I said, we have 3 so far. I think we've had 23 applications, and we've filled out 3 out of 23. So, again, what I'm realizing, and I'm really happy too as well with the updates that I've made to the application, because it is allowing for me to filter out eligible, all the candidates from those that would be eligible and kind of be able to move on to the next phase a lot more efficiently, and I think a lot more easily too as well. And so, it is interesting because I think to myself, there's how many people out there are really interested in wanting to be leads, and they would love to be a good leader, and they probably would love to just do the best job they can. And it almost makes me think of, man, maybe I should do a video or something else about almost kind of like a leader academy, so to speak. And I don't know if that's even the right thing to say, because I feel like my leader guide video that I have is the best thing out there right now on the market, just hands down. Though part of me feels like maybe I could do a little bit more with that, because I have had a number of people that have reached out to me just kind of asking questions and having a general level of interest and wanting to expand a little bit more on than what I just have in the guide, because it is kind of a basic overview that goes over things in some areas specifically, some areas broadly, but does give more insight into kind of how you would fill that role out from top to bottom. Anyways, without rambling on too much, that is pretty much what I got for you guys today. Would love to hear your thoughts, comments, any ideas. Please share with me down below. That is going to do it. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.